What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at again with another Just Chillin podcast episode. As you guys could see, I have two guests on here right now: Nate from Nate Talks Giants and Pat from Welcome to Big Pat Sports Talk. What up, guys? How y'all doing? Before I get to you, shout out to Logan, Football Talk with Benny, Angel, Jaden the Champ, Bobby Murphy, Word, Marjorie Simmons in here early, Joseph Balby, Classified with Joel, and Tom LIU. How y'all doing? What's up, guys? How you guys doing? It's been a minute since we had one of these.
I know. I'm doing good, man. Just putting out videos, chilling, and working on my business, man. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's facts, man. It's been a long few weeks for me, home stretch of the school year and all that, but I'm juiced up, ready to go. I'm just so psyched to see this Giants season this year. Great to see these guys on the field finally together.
It's going to be quite a while, man. It's going to be like 5 months. That's going to be some of the longest 5 months of my life.
Oh, it's going to be a terrible wait, but it's going to be worth it.
I shout out to Connor Stevens in here as well. We could just hop right into it. I remember Big Pat tweeting or replying to a tweet saying that this could be interesting. The Kelvin Benjamin thing, and in general, we have a couple of veteran guys at rookie minicamp trying out for the team. I mean, do you guys think that they even have a real shot? And if you want to talk specifically about Benjamin or one of the other guys, what do you guys think about that?
You want to go first, Nate?
Yeah, sure. With Kelvin Benjamin, I don't see him as having a future on this team at all. I mean, the dude's 30 years old. If this had happened maybe 5 years ago, absolutely he'd have a chance, especially with our tight end situation being so uncertain in the future. But with the fact that he's never played tight end before, it's a position shift at age 30. I'm not seeing it. We have a bunch of depth on the roster at tight end already. We got 4 guys that should be on the roster. So I don't think he's going to stick around. Ito Smith, that's a little bit of a different story. I could see him making the final roster. That battle for RB3 should actually be relatively interesting. Saquon and Booker obviously are 1 and 2. That's pretty much locked in, but there's a few guys that could be making this squad on the sorry, my brain is fried. However many man the first roster cut down is.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see how many actually. Sorry?
Are you talking about the 90-man roster or the 55 one?
Yeah. But whatever the first cut down is, a few guys could make it in that RB3 slot. It could be Ito Smith. It could be the guy who drafted Brightwell. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nate. Ito Smith, he could make it as a third back. When you're drafting in the 6th round, your position is not guaranteed. That's almost like you being undrafted. They just happen to pull the trigger on you because they felt somebody else would have got you before you went undrafted. That's what I feel like late in the 6th round. The Kelvin Benjamin thing, if he has anything at tight end, it would be a sight to see. The guy's huge. The guy's always been, 6'5"? 6'5".
He's currently, the last time he weighed in, which was 2018, which is the weight they have on him, he's like 245, I think.
Yeah, he's like 245, 250.
By the way, Kush, that's sexy, bro. That's a
Thank you. I know. I
jersey.
saw a couple people in the chat asking for it. At the camera angle, I have it right now. I'll just switch out real quick to the wide view. The Kenny Galladay jersey finally came in after like a whole month of waiting. My friend got this for me, shipped it out. So I'm guessing this is confirmed that he's number 19 because according to NFLshop.com, the reason it was taking so long is that they were waiting for confirmation on his number. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, he's number 19. I actually like the number 89 on Tony.
I like it too.
A lot of people were trashing on that. I like it.
Like, I mean, I didn't mind it when it first came out. Like, obviously, the first thing that came to mind is, like, I'm like, it's usually a big guy number, but I got no problem with it. And, we only saw maybe 2 or 3 pictures of him in 89, and then obviously today on the field. And I'm like, it looks good. It doesn't look bad.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, for me, I guess this is somehow an unpopular opinion. I didn't think this would be until I saw all these reactions. I don't really like receivers in single-digit numbers so much.
Yeah, neither do I.
I like 80s receiver numbers. And for people saying 89 is a big guy number, whatever, I don't really care. I mean, I'm a kid that grew up in the Gronkowski era, so I see 87, I think tight end. So it doesn't really matter to me, at all.
Steve Smith was 89.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Someone said that on Twitter, yeah.
when people were
I'm
saying like
perfectly fine with
89
89
doesn't
on
suit a
Kadarius.
small guy, and Tony isn't even small, by the way. He's like what 6'1", 6'2". Like it's not
No,
like
Is he
he's
he's
a
that
six.
small
I
tall?
think he's
receiver.
6 foot. He's 6 foot.
6 foot even.
Hmm.
But he's not even a small guy though. My point is, and I'm like, yeah, you got a guy in Steve Smith who rocked it and owned 89 for his entire career. I don't really get what the upset is about.
Yeah.
I will say this though about the Kelvin Benjamin thing. If that guy makes it past this camp and actually makes it into training camp and gets a couple of preseason games, I don't know, man.
What do you
He,
know about?
he might be a beat out Toy Lolo for me, man. If he shows that he can
Well,
use that big frame to block a little bit, was not having another good big body in the red zone because that's
all
be
right.
all he'll be used for.
All right. So let me say this then. This is gonna sound on its face. This is gonna sound really freaking stupid. I think Kelvin Benjamin has a better shot of taking Evan Ingram's job than Levine Toilolo's. Levine Toilolo is a specialized blocker. That's not something that I'm going to expect to see out of Kelvin Benjamin. If Kelvin Benjamin makes this roster, it's going to be as a move tight end, as Evan
Well,
Ingram, but with better route running.
I said the wrong guy. I meant Caden Smith, not
Oh, yeah,
Caden
that I could
Smith.
see. That
I
I could see.
tweeted out as a joke. I was like, Evan Ingram better work on his blocking because with the size of Benjamin, he's just going to be a wall out there. Low key, if he makes the roster in some crazy way, I think it's going to be just because of his sheer size, man.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, with him, it's basically just I admit to have not watched a lot of Kelvin Benjamin blocking tape.
I don't think
So,
anybody has.
Yeah, I don't know quite what his strength as a blocker, what that level is, but I can't imagine Ingram is a whole step up better than him as a blocker because Ingram is just starting to become competent as a blocker in the run game.
Right.
So
I can't imagine Benjamin being much worse
yeah,
than that.
which is
If
why I'm
he is,
saying.
I don't even know how he got a tryout.
Which is why I'm saying if Kelvin Benjamin is going to beat out any tight end on this roster for a spot, I think it's probably going to be taking Evan Ingram's job. Not that he's going to replace him on the roster and Evan Ingram's going to get cut or anything, but if he's going to take someone's job, it's going to be the other move tight end. Because I'll tell you right now, Evan Ingram may be fast, but Kelvin Benjamin's a better route runner. So if you were good,
Even with 3 years
Yeah.
out the league?
that's fair. I would let me amend that statement. Kelvin Benjamin, from what we remember of him, was a better route runner than what Evan Ingram is. But if you're going to base it off of we don't know what he is 3 years after he left the league, then we're just conjecture. That's
And he was
whatever.
lazy when he was in the league.
Yeah,
so
I don't
we
even
don't-
remember. If he
I
knows
mean,
how to
y'all
tie
remember
his
the
shoes
joke
at
that
point.
one of
Like,
a commentator made? It was like he's a biscuit away from being a tight end. Well, I mean, he
Yeah.
ate that biscuit, bro.
he's
So,
been eating that McDonald's, bro.
That whoever I forgot which commentator that was, they were spot on, man.
Big Mac
Yo,
and a
shout out
Coke.
to Alex from Big Blue in the Bronx in here, Alex. We were just talking about Benjamin and the possibility, or I guess non-possibility, depending on how you look at it, on him making the roster and whatnot.
And by the way, he's rocking an AC/DC shirt.
Yeah,
Mad
peep.
respect there.
Yes.
Mad respect.
And I'm also eating Chinese food at the moment. But for my comments on Benjamin, I know he worked out for the Giants, I'm pretty sure, like 2 years ago or something. Now, supposedly, they're working him out or trying to work him out as a tight end. I guess it's kind of a way for him to try to come back into the league a la Tim Tebow, except he's not a quarterback. So with that being said, if he makes the roster at all, I think he's just a depth piece. But I think he's just going to be a camp body that they keep in there for what do they have, like 80, 90-man rosters. So
Yeah.
Yep.
And by the way, he's talking about that tight end thing. That's a really good point. Everybody seems to be coming back to the league as a tight end. Coach, you think
Logan
you can come back
Thomas?
to the league as a tight end? You
Well,
gonna
I was
make, you make
backup
your
tight
career
end.
comeback as a tight end?
I was
Hey,
a
Logan
backup tight end.
Thomas actually worked out pretty good though, man. Logan Thomas turned out to be a beast.
We all got to
That
come back
was
and
a
tight end.
real,
position.
that was
That's
a
what
real
it is.
good comeback. But that Tim Tebow thing is just, man, he just knows people. That's when you have connections,
yeah.
bro.
That's
I
an
mean,
Urban
but like,
Meyer hire.
I don't get why everybody's so angry about it because it's almost as if that's how anything in the world works. You need to know the
Yeah.
right people.
I mean,
So I don't
think
get the outrage.
the thing is, I think some people are making it a black versus white thing with Colin Kaepernick when I don't think that's what it is. I think it's the fact that Urban Meyer got hired in Jacksonville and Urban Meyer would sell Tim Tebow his house if you wanted it. So Tim Tebow said, "Hey, can I have a job? I'll play whatever the hell you want me to play." And
Yeah,
Urban
let me
Meyer
make
said,
it-
"Oh yeah, man, I'll buy you a plane ticket. Come right on down."
Yeah, let me
and
make
that's
it
what
quick
that
6
conversation
figures.
was.
Let me
Yeah,
make it
that's-
quick 6
that's
figures
his
for no
guy.
reason.
That's
Yeah.
his guy. I mean, I guess a comparison you could make or one you could draw is, and I know Nate's going to be lost on this, but for basketball fans, with Tom Thibodeau, his guy is Derrick Rose. Although, of course, Derrick Rose actually produces. We have yet to see if Tim Tebow's going to produce as a tight end, but kind of the same thing. Tom Thibodeau will always take a shot on his guy, and his guy's Derrick Rose.
Sometimes I think with all these basketball references you make, you're just trying to bully me into getting into watching the NBA. I think that's what this is.
I mean, you're already basically a Knicks fan, bro, so it's all good.
Yeah, you're a Knicks fan by default automatically.
Yeah, I don't get the Tim Tebow Kaepernick comparisons. Kaepernick can never go to another position. Yeah. And people have to realize, unpopular opinion, but Kaepernick was messing with the NFL's bottom line.
Yeah.
When you start causing the league money, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
When the league, people that watch the league, no offense to anybody, is mainly old white men that make up most of the league when it comes to television revenue. They're good old boys. They don't want to see their flag being disrespected. That's what they determined it as him disrespecting the flag, and it started turning away views. The NFL that year had the lowest viewership they ever had.
Yeah,
and you really think they're gonna let this guy keep coming back and doing the same thing, messing up their revenue?
And I think what you're saying is on the money. With regardless of why, at the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick was hurting the bottom line, and the NFL, much as people love to pretend this isn't real, the NFL is a business. It's about money. Everything is about money. Jawan James knows that. You bet your ass he knows that. If you're in the league, you may sell some jerseys, you may have some fans, but at the end of the day, you are numbers. You're numbers to the NFL. And if you watch on TV, you're numbers. That's what it is. The NFL, just like every sporting league, is a business. And if you're not making money for the owners and you're not making money for the league, that's a problem. At the end of the day, we think of it as such a pure thing because it seems from the bird's eye view to be such a pure thing. Oh, anybody can play. If you're good enough, if you work hard enough, you can play, you're going to be great. It's just not the reality of life. We love to look at sports as this escape from the problems of the real world, and it's nice to have that every Sunday. But at the same time, the NFL still is the real world for these people. This is their lives. This is their job. We've seen this with all kinds of controversies before. The player strikes, where players are trying to call attention. Guys, hey, we don't just retire and go nowhere. We have lives after this. We need benefits and health and stuff like that. We need pensions. And people were like, what? What are you doing? Play football. This is just what it is. People don't understand that it's real life to these people. This is everything they have.
Exactly. So that whole ordeal about him getting the workout for the 21 teams and he telling them something was in the contract, I'm giving up my rights. Look, if you're an employee of any company and you do something like he did that cost that company money, you don't think they're going to put something in the next contract they give you to say, hey, look, if you do something like this again, man, you out.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not going to come to our workout and get injured and then sue us again. You know you already sued the NFL and won.
Yeah.
You got a settlement already. So
to kind of direct it back to the Giants, a similar situation in terms of when, it's a business and when you're getting paid money, you should, in the contract, don't be surprised if things are like, you shouldn't be able to do this. I kind of view it similar, like I said, to steer it back to the Giants and also not that related. But with Odell, for example, when we made him the highest paid receiver in the league, he was supposed to be a company man and he was not. And that's why he got shipped off. If you're getting paid that type of money at that position, there's certain things you should and should not be doing.
Yeah, and I think one of the most common misconceptions people have is that they misunderstand what the First Amendment is. The First Amendment is one of the most important things in our nation. It means you can never be prosecuted for almost any type of speech except for some obvious exceptions. But that doesn't mean in a private business, which is what the NFL is, if you walk into your boss's office and call him profanities, that doesn't mean you're not gonna get fired. That's just what life is. Whether the boss deserves it or not is irrelevant at that point. You're gonna get fired.
And let's just put a pin in that and steer it back to the rookie minicamp here. I see the chat going real quick, guys. You guys could trash talk Bobby Murphy. I got no problem with it because Bobby Murphy is an Eagles fan. He deserves it just for being an Eagles fan. But keep in mind, he's an Eagles fan that shows up to every single stream and he's like a regular view to channel. So mods don't time him out or anything. He's just He's just being an Eagles fan, man. That's what it is. With rookie minicamp though, one thing that happened today, which was kind of weird, and this is why I low key kind of hate New York media in general. Kadarius Toney and his cleats things, like they made such a big deal out of it, and I'm just like, yo, the man still did his drills. You know what I'm saying? He was still going through it. I saw a beat reporter tweet out, why did they let him practice with one cleat on? What if he got a blister or something? I'm like, are you serious? That's a question. Like this is what New York media's come to, bro.
Yeah. I mean, listen, my first reaction, honestly, like just my reaction to the reactions was, how is this your priorities? Like when I first saw the thing about his foot off and the shoe, I was thinking, dear God, please don't let him be injured. That was my first reaction.
Right.
And these people are out here talking about how are they letting him practice without a shoe? That should not be the first thought. I'm not sure why it's your first thought, but let's get this in the right order, guys.
What about you, Pat?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, man. The guy's out there, he's just a competitor. That's what I like about him. He's just a competitor, man. He wants to play football. I think he loves it here already. I believe he has the
unlike Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Yo, y'all saw
every
the
picture of
him
Devontae
walking?
Smith, he just looks more and more depressed.
Bro, not even that. Like the video of him walking to the Eagles facility, he has like a slouch, like depressed walk going on. Yo, like, yo, somebody save this man.
He looks like he's being shipped off to prison, man. Which he kind of is in a football.
Jalen Hurts throws for 50% this year, man. That guy's gonna be pissed.
Oh man,
I feel bad for him.
No,
man.
he's gonna be pissed when he wakes up in the hospital after getting cracked in half by Jabril Peppers over the middle. That's when he's gonna be pissed. He's gonna say, "Was this worth a third round pick to you, Philly?"
Man, that guy, man. I feel bad for him because he really thought he was gonna be a Giant.
Yeah, he did.
He literally thought he was gonna be a Giant.
Poor dude. I mean, I know if I was getting drafted and I thought I was going to the New York Giants and I got drafted by the Eagles instead like that, I would be pretty crushed. Can't say I don't know where he's coming from on this one.
And the reason I still don't understand why they did it. Like I don't understand why they did it.
No, I get it. It made sense, the move. It was just everything the Eagles this offseason has seemed like a panic move. Howie Roseman has just been flying by the seat of his pants this offseason. As things happen, and he goes, oh, that didn't work. Next plan. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, all the way down through the alphabet. I mean, the things you hear about how these trades got made is ridiculous. Like, he tried to trade up to 3, and then that didn't work, so he traded back to 12, and then he tried to trade back up again, but that didn't work.
Right.
And then he traded up on draft night with the Cowboys. Like, dude, how are you still hired? My God.
Because he's a cap genius, bro.
Yeah, whatever, man.
He sucks the owner's dick.
I can't wait for the Eagles to play this year.
Yeah.
Nah, go ahead, Alex. You've been quiet.
It's gonna be fun.
On the Devonta Smith subject, I mean, obviously, it was a surprise to me, but I guess that's why you don't get married to a player. You ever see the meme? I mean, you guys probably have seen it, where it's like something I do on my day off or whatever the caption is, and you have that guy standing by the pool just depressed, and then you have him like sitting at his table depressed. He's like this.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That's accurate. Yeah. That you could Photoshop his face on, and I wouldn't question it.
Yeah, and then once he gets drafted by the Giants, that's obviously not surprising. Surprising, I guess, in a way. But you have to, I guess, cross enemy lines to trade up and actually beat the Giants. To that, I forget the one topic I was actually going to go on that we were doing. I think before the Smith one.
No.
I forget that topic, but we'll go back to it later or something like that.
I mean, I will say, I can't believe these words are about to come out of my mouth, but in Howie Roseman's defense, none of the moves he's made have been bad. They just haven't all made sense. Like, you can so clearly tell with the Giants, with Gettleman, with Judge, outside of having to trade down, which, by the way, was still planned. Like, they laid the groundwork with the Bears weeks in advance. But outside of not getting Devontae Smith, everything is very clearly planned. There's a scheme here. Things are advancing as they're expected to. There's check marks being ticked off. With Howie Roseman, it's felt this offseason like he's been asking the magic 8 ball what to do every morning when he wakes up and goes to the office. That's what it's felt like. And I hate the Eagles. I really do. But all bias aside, I don't understand how these people can still be confident in him. It's unreal to me. The delusion is insane.
Eagles fans, man.
You know what? That explains everything. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate. Oh,
Who has an office phone, yo? I haven't heard a ringtone.
no. You know what? Hold on. I have that exact same phone in my house, actually.
Man, that's a landline. I don't care what nobody says.
I have that exact
That in a
same
long
phone in
time,
my
bro.
house.
Yo, any reason y'all still got landlines kicking around, bro?
Man, I ain't had a
You have a home
landline
phone?
in years.
Oh,
I might need to get one. Feds be getting people's cell phones, man.
By the way, Benny, hopefully tomorrow.
Shout out to Tudo Azori for the $5 super chat. He says, "Ciao, all my Giants Pasanos. Just dropped by your office to toin on the lights for the show and slapped all Eagles fans on my way out. Forget
go.
about it."
Absolutely. Tudo knows what's
That's
up.
what we
He knows
like,
what's
bro.
up.
That's what we like. Marjorie says she got a landline too. Yo, I feel like, damn, I thought landlines went extinct or something, man. I'm be honest
Me
with you.
too.
I mean, you got a home phone, and then you got your cell phone. That's what it is.
We used to have a home phone until we realized everybody just called us on our cell phones and we got rid of it.
Eagles fans trip me out though. Like what?
Yeah.
What possibly have you guys done
Yeah.
to make your fans? What have they done to make these fans feel like they don't have a great season? Like
I
what on
forget who
your
it
team?
was.
What on your team makes you feel like you're gonna do anything?
Yo, I'm gonna say
Someone
this.
on Twitter said this, and I was like, this is so facts. How are they more confident now than they were when they actually had a good team?
Right.
Like, it seems just based on what I've seen from Eagles fans recently, they're more confident about this season than they were when they were about to win the Super Bowl, which makes no sense whatsoever.
At all.
It's to be a fly on the wall in the mind of an Eagles fan. It must be a radical experience, honestly.
It's
Yeah, go ahead.
It's really strange to me because obviously, actually, I think it was today or yesterday. It came up in my suggestion, so I'm like, "Yeah, what the heck?" Lord Brunson came up in my suggestions, and he was like ranting at this one Washington fan. He's like, "Oh, what have you done? What has your team done to basically,
I've seen it.
Yeah, he basically was talking trash to them, like the Eagle. He's like, "Oh, we've been in the playoffs, 3 straight years before this year, and that we were in a Super Bowl." I'm like, dude, but your team sucks now. Stop living in the past. And I just don't know how they keep, in terms of the Eagles organization, how they just keep letting Howie Roseman call the shots. I mean, literally, we've gone over it how many times with the Milton Williams pick, and then he's just high-fiving everybody. Not everybody's happy in that room. So I don't know how you could be happy with just Howie Roseman in that room.
That Laura Brunson guy. You talk about the show when he had Bad Dog on there?
I did
it
not
was
see
Bad
that.
Dog, so guy, and him, a Dallas Cowboys guy. This dude told the Washington Redskins guy that Chase Young was the wrong pick. He said,
Oh, word?
He said Chase Young was gonna be a bust.
Jesus
I
Christ.
said, man, obviously you haven't seen this dude play.
I mean,
Do you know how much he legitimizes their front seven?
110%.
Their front seven wasn't even thought of as being nowhere near the best before he got there.
So I've never actually watched a Lord Brunson video, but I have heard so much about him just in the span of today. I was in a couple of other live streams, and people were also talking about the stuff he was saying. Apparently, he's saying that Jalen Hurts is elite, and
He's
that
saying
he's gonna
Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in the NFC East.
unbelievable.
he
And
said-
I'm floored by this.
He
It's
said,
unreal.
he said he has an accurate arm, but he's going to complete it 50%.
He said he was a better
passes.
passer than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he said he was a better passer than Daniel Jones, too.
Anyone see that beat reporter on Twitter that basically
Yes.
said the Giants have the worst O-line,
Yes.
D-line,
I saw
Yeah, it was like
quarterback,
worst head
and
coach, worst quarterback, worst O-line, worst D-line.
Hey, but
and
listen,
worst something
listen.
else.
We have the worst all these things, but the Eagles, they're the ones to envy. They have the best dumbass sideline reporter, apparently, that I've never heard of that nobody cares about. What a worthless waste of a check mark. Who decided that he was going to get verified? Jesus.
know.
I know we all saw like that one tweet and the follow-up tweet that everyone was gang piling on. Did you take a minute to scroll through this, dude? Jesus. It's just a waterfall of terrible. I mean, my God.
Before we continue this rant on the Eagles, shout out to Tudo Azori for another $5 super chat. He says, "What Philadelphia Eagles football team players and hookers have in common? They're all wide receivers." Hey man, I'm gonna take that one off before I get
Yeah, I would if I was
I
you.
should have read it earlier.
Yeah. That's what I was laughing at before, and you pulled it up, and I was like, oh, kush. Oh, kush.
Bobby, I honestly gotta ask you, man. He said, "Why is Hurts ranked higher in QB rankings?" Whose QB rankings? Yours?
I mean, all these, he's going to say PFF or whatever, and that's going to just infuriate me more. There is nothing, and I know I've told you this before, there is nothing that infuriates me quite like when PFF is the source that someone cites for their argument. There is nothing that
PFF
grates on
is
my
stupid.
nerves quite that much.
Yeah, PFF is highly dumb. I don't understand. I
Highly
can't follow
dumb.
them.
I like that adjective. That's nice. Highly dumb.
It was so funny relating to PFF, and Nate was talking about how it's dumb. People use it as their automatic reference. I was in an argument with a Bengals fan at the time that Kenny Galladay, was still a free agent, and then the Bengals had a prove-it deal on the table for him, and I'm like, basically proving my case of why would he want to go to Cincinnati when Joe Burrow is going to be on his back most of the time, and that they're going to draft Chase or do whatever. And then he's like, oh, the Bengals O-line ranked higher than the Giants O-line on PFF, and I'm like, that's PFF though.
Exactly.
I mean,
our line showed a lot of improvement over the last 8 games. So did Daniel Jones for the most part. He didn't turn over the ball, and he was making sound decisions. Even though we just didn't have the people to beat those teams down the stretch, like the Cleveland Browns or Ravens. Surprised we beat Seattle with McCoy in there, but hey, look. Just didn't have the firepower to beat those teams. Now the firepower we have now, we're gonna see who the real Daniel Jones is. And I'm finna stop talking to Eagles fans. I just can't get off the fact that
they're gonna drag you back in. Plus, guys, the
They
Pro
always do.
Bowler is in the chat. Evan Ingram is here. He said that he's gonna lead us to a 17-0 record. Shout out to Tudo for another $5 super chat. He says, "What do Philadelphia Eagles and Billy Graham have in common? They both can make 70,000 people stand up and yell, 'Jesus Christ.'" Tudo, I gotta ask you, when are you publishing the book, bro? We've been asking for this for weeks, man. When's the book coming out?
Dude, we're making this whole stream about piling on Eagles fans, and I absolutely love it. But also, Eagles fans, for every possible reason, are the most pathetic fan base. I don't like singling out like people because that kind of feels wrong. It feels like that's not quite so cool. But with Eagles fans, it's okay because Eagles fans, just as a whole, are terrible in every way as a sports fan. They're obnoxious. They're egotistical. They're overconfident. And that's all tolerable. That's all stuff that you can expect from sports fans.
That you can
That's just
expect that
what it
from
is.
every fan base.
But at least have loyalty to your goddamn team. And when I say that, I don't mean bandwagons, because if there's one thing an Eagles fan will never do, it's bandwagon. And that I can respect. But how many times have you seen Eagles fans leaving the stadium before the end of the third quarter? I've seen it many times. How many times have you seen Eagles fans boo their players after one bad play? Many times. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying all this, because all you have to say about Eagles fans is show me a fan base that booed Santa. That's all there needs to be said there.
That's all. There's only fan base that beat up Santa.
Who can actually defend that to me?
Santa
can
better not
defend
walk
that?
up. Listen, man, to be fair, Santa better not be walking up in the Eagles' house rooting for another team or something like that, man. To be fair.
Hey, look, man, I can't wait to play them guys.
Let's shift in. We're gonna get back to rookie camp just now, but because Rob the Eagles, let's shift into the schedule.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the schedule? Your individual thoughts. Obviously, the audience has already heard mine. Nate, yeah, you could go ahead and start.
Oh, I wasn't gonna. I was actually just gonna say I've talked about this before, so I'll let the other guys hop on this first.
What was the subject?
What do you think about the schedule?
The schedule, I say we get no less than 10 wins. I think 9-8 is our absolute worst that we'll do. And that's if we're just not clicking on all cylinders, or if it's something like Daniel Jones is still not progressing. I could see us going 9-8 with that schedule. But if we're clicking on all cylinders and Daniel Jones steps up to be the quarterback that we need him to be, I don't see why we can't go at least 13-4. There's only about 3 games on the schedule where I think.
Did you say 13-4?
Mm-hmm.
Pat, that's a little too optimistic for me. I'm gonna
Look,
with you.
if we play the NFC East like we played them last year, say if we go 5-1 in the NFC East, say the Cowboys wind up getting us probably the first game, or the football team wind up getting us the first game. I really only see 3 other teams on that schedule that's really going to be hard, and that's the Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Chiefs. I believe we're better than the Dolphins. I know we could beat the Chargers. Falcons are not beating us. The Saints, maybe with Drew Brees, but I think we can get to Jameis Winston. The Panthers going to beat us? No. The Broncos going to beat us? No. So who else out of that schedule is going to beat us? The Bears aren't going to beat us. I don't see that happening.
Do I have my thing written down here? Let me listen. All right, here are teams that could legitimately beat us, bro. Washington, I don't know why you rule out the Saints like that. If the Saints get good quarterback play, they're a team that could legitimately beat us.
Yeah,
I don't have
Saints,
faith in
Jameis
Winston.
It's
I'm
all
sorry.
about Jameis Winston, and
That's what I'm
if
saying, if they
Jameis
get
Winston
good
does
quarterback
play
play.
well, the Saints are going to be really good.
Because they're
I
still
believe our
pretty good
defense
roster.
confuses the hell out of Jameis Winston, but go ahead.
Their
We'll see about
defense
that
could confuse the hell out of Daniel Jones as well. They had a better defense than we did last year.
It don't matter. Our defense outlasts theirs. Go ahead.
Pat, that's just optimism speaking right there.
A little
man.
bit of overconfidence there, bro.
Okay.
Other teams that could definitely beat us, of course, Chiefs, Tampa Bay, that's a given. But then in the second half of the season, I think people are sleeping on games like Dolphins and Chargers. They're teams that could beat us. There you go. That's more than 3 teams that could beat us right there.
First off, I love that Kush really just put in the work, put in the legwork, took out the notes, took out the pencil and paper notes. I respect the grind, honestly. I mean, look at that. Is that pen or pen? I can't tell.
That's
in
pencil.
Something on paper. Let's just all respect the grind from Kush right now. That's impressive. But also, I think when you look at a schedule from this far out, it's kind of just worthless talk, which is fun, and we all love doing that. But also, when you talk about teams that could beat us, it depends on a million things. It depends on if Jameis Winston plays well. It depends on if Justin Herbert has a sophomore slump. It depends on 1,000,001 other factors that we're not going to know until we play these teams. I mean, for all we know, Tom Brady's old ass is going to get injured before we play the Buccaneers, and we're ending up playing Kyle Trask, and that game looks a whole lot different. So I think
Kyle Trask was QB1, so I don't know about that.
We're not going to talk about that.
Explain to me why y'all have so much fear of the Saints.
All right, before we explain, let me get the super chat because it's been up for a minute. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He said, I left 2 Eagles tickets on my dashboard 2 years ago, but someone smashed the window and left 2 more. That's a joke, and that framework of the joke is one of the best that I've ever heard because it's always repeated with different things. Listen, in terms of the Saints, bro, I wouldn't say I fear them, but they're a team that could beat us. Like, they have a really good defense still, and in my opinion, all they need is just average to good quarterback play for that offense to be clicking well.
And the problem with the Saints is that they're super, super talented. And if you want to talk about fear, there's no team I fear on the schedule. What?
Name their offense.
Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. That's all you need.
Name all of their offense compared to our defense.
I thought you meant they're good players on offense.
Name their offense. You really think a running back is going to do that much damage to us?
Yeah,
we're Saquon Barkley fans.
Because Saquon could do the same amount of damage to similar.
He's nowhere near Saquon.
He's different than Saquon, but he's just as dangerous.
I keep trying to tell people, man, that dude feasts on stupid defenses. He feasts on defenses that put linebackers
and yet
on him.
He still feasts.
He's in the NFC South. There's not too many defenses in the NFC South that's going to do anything to
I mean, his
He still
rookie and
beats
sophomore
the
year, the
playoffs.
NFC South was still a beast.
him. When he played the
league.
Buccaneers, they shut his little ass down because they're smart with their defense.
And the Saints still won both of those regular season games. They lost in the
It
playoffs once.
It doesn't matter when it comes to the playoffs.
But we're not talking playoffs, Pat.
We're talking regular
season.
Let me speak. When
Let
it
us
comes
speak.
to the playoffs, everybody's team's defenses are a lot more better and a lot heightened. Our defense matches up with them perfectly with Jameis Winston in there. He's no Drew Brees.
So this is what I'm asking you.
He cannot read a defense like Drew Brees can.
This is
Well,
what
the
I'm
whole
asking
point
you.
of what we're saying is it depends on Winston.
Exactly.
If he learned from Breeze like he says he did, and like Breeze says he did, you're laughing like you're saying I expect that, and I don't.
Jay,
There's a reason it's.
This
This is what I'm laughing at right now. Pat was talking about playoff defenses as if we're not playing them early in the season, week 4.
And this,
that's not
listen,
that early.
dude. I'm all for.
Week 4 is not that early in an 18-week season.
You should be getting into your groove around week 4.
Dude,
you should be
hold
figuring
on.
out who
Time
you
out.
are.
That's
week
cap,
4.
bro.
I'm
Take off
all
your hat.
for. I'm
Take
all
off your
for
hat.
confidence and optimism
cap.
about the Giants. But if you're telling me the Saints aren't still a playoff caliber roster, you're out of your mind.
They're not.
You're just wrong.
I promise you.
Eh.
They're going to finish behind the Buccaneers for sure. And if the Panthers had a quarterback, they'll finish behind them. But they got Sam
the Panthers
Darnold.
don't got a quarterback, bro.
The Panthers have just as much quarterback as the Saints do.
So look, it's going to be 3 teams from the NFC West. It's going to be the Packers if they keep Aaron Rodgers, or if Aaron Rodgers leave, it's going to be the Vikings. It's going to be us and the Redskins and the Buccaneers. I don't think the Saints make it, even with that 7th spot. If they do make it, it's going to be that 7th playoff spot. I'm telling you, man.
Alex,
It's not going to be that great for the Saints out there,
You
bro.
over there playing with a stick. Go ahead, hop in.
On the Saints subject, I'm not gonna go as far as saying they're gonna be a 7th seed. I still think that the Buccaneers will win that division, but obviously, once again, quarterback play is key. I don't think that they're that far from what they were. Obviously, Drew Brees is a key minus. I'm actually more concerned a little bit in terms of their defense, their cornerback depth, because Marshawn Lattimore is the number 1, and then you got Patrick Robinson behind, who hasn't been a starter in the last couple of years. They cut Janoris Jenkins. Also, they lost their probably number 2 pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson. But in terms of
they did take Paulson and Debo in the 3rd.
True. My point, actually, I'm going to set it down to this before I go on the whole schedule aspect. I think it's a team we could potentially beat. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. I think it's going to be one of those games, in my personal opinion, speaking from how many months out, that it's going to be like the Seahawks game that nobody sees coming. But once again, we have how many months to change our opinions. Mm-hmm. As far as the whole entire schedule goes, I do think that other than the Chiefs, the Bucks, and the Rams, I think that us going out west for the Chargers is a disadvantage. I think that's a potential loss. And
I said that exactly.
Miami is about one step ahead of the rebuild, except for the fact that they don't know if their quarterback is great. So it's in my opinion, if I were to do a schedule prediction, I would say we win by like 3 points. My personal opinion, because I don't know how Tua's going to be. Obviously, also as well, they have their 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. I think we overall have an easier schedule in the first half of the season because, last half of the season, or at least last year in the first half of the season, it was, brutal. People were predicting it to be brutal, and it was brutal. But we have a better team now. We have a better schedule, so it makes everything easier. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah. And
he just named all those things wrong with the Saints that's going back in there.
Remember, they don't things wrong with the Saints.
Marshawn Lattimore just got arrested.
Marshawn Lattimore is going to be back on the field.
He's going to okay. He might get suspended.
I'll ask.
If you really want to bring it back to the Saints, the one thing I will say that is my overarching thing here is that it's my problem with what you're saying is not in essence what you're saying. My problem is how confident you are in what you're saying. You are saying this like it's the most obvious, clear thing in the world, and if you don't see it, you're blind. The Saints still have a lot of talent on that team, and they still have a lot of good stuff going for them. Obviously, there's a lot of question marks there. I understand that. And that's why the Saints are so difficult to predict.
Michael Thomas.
What?
Name another receiver they have over there besides Michael Thomas.
Name another receiver they need with Alvin Kamara to have a passing first offense.
Let me ask Alex this.
They haven't been a passing first offense in years.
Both of y'all, wait, real quick. Let me ask Alex this, because this was the original question. A team that can beat us in the season, because Pat said there's only 3 or 4 that can't beat us. Are the Saints one of those teams that can beat us as of today, Alex?
He's going to say no.
I'm going to say yes.
No, Alex. I meant
you
Pat.
say y'all took out
no.
I said there's 3 or 4 teams on there where I'm actually afraid and they can beat us. Yes, that's the Chiefs, the Buccaneers, and the Rams. But the Saints without Drew Brees, no.
They're not gonna be fair. In my opinion, they
it's
won't
not
be
like Drew Brees was playing Hall of Fame quarterback level his last 2 or 3 years.
It doesn't matter. That guy.
Let's be honest. Drew Brees was playing bad football his last 2 years.
Do you really believe that a team with 1 receiver and 1 running back, the way this defense plays,
okay? So what? Emmanuel Sanders is such a big loss from last year.
You can arguably say the same about Green Bay.
Pretty much.
What are you talking about? Green Bay had all type of receivers. You can name their whole receiver.
Green Bay is a different subject entirely. But if you want to talk about the Saints, right? They lost Emmanuel Sanders in the receiving corps. How much of a loss is that to you?
That's a big loss when you don't have another.
No, it is not. Emmanuel
yes,
Sanders was almost nothing last year.
What do you mean? Emmanuel Sanders gets open in the middle of the field.
He's
all the time.
washed as hell, dude.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's going to show you why he wasn't washed last year. He was still productive. You got to watch.
He was productive in that offense.
I'm in Louisiana, man. I'm in Louisiana.
He was productive, not good.
I'm in Louisiana. I see the Saints games all the time. Football Talk with Benny. Traquan Smith is not. No, he's like a Trayvon Grimes almost. He's a tall, fast receiver that's supposed to be talented, but he just doesn't get it done. Emmanuel Sanders was very good for them last year. You got to actually watch the game. You just basing it off little stats. That little dude did things in the infield that a lot of receivers can't do. That gets other people open. I'm telling you, man, they lost a lot over there in New Orleans, especially with you losing Drew Brees.
Yeah, they lost a lot.
Jameis Winston is nowhere near the leader of Drew Brees. He's not going to throw the passes the way Drew Brees does. Only reason why Drew Brees looked bad because he lost his arm. That's why he retired. Yes, Jameis Winston has a good arm.
Jameis doesn't need to be prime Drew Brees.
He lost
what I'm saying is he needs to be a average.
The thing you need to play quarterback
for the Saints.
Okay,
for the Saints to have a legitimate chance and beat us.
Okay, but if Drew Brees had his arm, he would have been playing a lot better because he knows where to go with the ball.
I think the point that we're not putting hairs on here is that we agree they lost a lot. But the Saints lost a lot, and you're saying they fell from being a playoff contender to being nothing, and I'm saying they fell from being an NFC Championship contender to being a playoff contender.
I'm saying they went from being a playoff contender because they should have lost to the Bears if that receiver would have caught that pass. Let's be honest with you. They sucked in that first game against the Bears. The Bears should have won that game.
Yeah, they
went from a
game.
playoff contender to barely missing the cut to me.
That's what happens when you're on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, right.
Listen, to be fair, Mitch Trubisky did win the MVP, so
that's fair. That's fair. How can you beat the MVP?
You can't really compete with that.
I'm probably more afraid of the Chargers than the Saints this year,
which is a team that I brought up.
Well, I'm not afraid of either of them. Neither of them are teams.
I'm saying I might be a little bit more worried about the Chargers than the Saints.
We could switch to Chargers. Let me get the super chat. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says, I've been saying on Cush's channel forever, the Giants have a talented team, and it's all on the coaches to prepare the team better and don't get out coached. And if there's one thing I will say I'm confident in, there's not a lot of times we're going to be out coached on the field. That at least it's been a while since I could say that. But go ahead.
Like I said, shout out to Mike Nixon talking about 400 yards is good as man dumb as hell. I just told you Drew Brees lost his arm. That dude was wide open a whole lot of times. I'm in Louisiana. I see the games.
Who got 400
yards?
Dude
was getting open. Sanders.
Sanders had 700 yards last season, not 400.
Oh, well, damn. Then shut up, Mike Nixon. I don't know who you are. He had 700 yards, and Drew Brees couldn't throw.
He's probably talking about the other guy that Benny brought up, the guy that you compared to Trayvon Grimes. I don't know. We'll see. But Emmanuel Sanders had 700 yards last season, I remember. But getting to the Chargers and that West Coast thing right there, you say, Pat, that is a team that you think, or a team that you fear more than the Saints. You think they could beat us then?
I don't believe they can beat us, but I said compared to the Saints, I would fear them more, especially if they're healthy.
Dude, saying you don't think they can beat us, I'm sorry, that's pretty ridiculous. I understand we made a lot of great additions. We went 6-10 last year. You're too confident, man.
I have confidence in my team because I know what they can do.
Yeah, they have great potential. They're great on paper. We went 6-10 last year. We haven't proved anything.
We went 6-10 with a whole lot less of a roster. Do you know how less of a roster that was last year?
Much less. We have not proved anything yet.
We had one of the worst roster setups as far as offense.
We are good on paper. We haven't proved anything yet.
That's cool, but I believe in Joe Judge. Joe Judge gets results.
I believe in Joe Judge too.
If
he still hasn't had a winning season yet.
If we had a bum coach, I want to be talking like this, but I know the coach that we have. I've been through 2 regimes with the same type coach, type dude.
The difference between what we're saying here is I think we will beat the Chargers, and I think we could beat the Saints. You think there's no chance we won't.
I said there's always a chance you get beat. I'm just confident in saying I don't believe
they couldn't beat us.
They can't beat us. They shouldn't beat us. They shouldn't beat us. When you compare line by line of what that team has, they couldn't beat us. And the way that boy plays over there in San Diego, they give up the game all the time.
So you're ready to...
Yeah, but that was based off Anthony Lynn, though. They had arguably a top 15 of everything last year. Anthony Lynn was most likely the reason that... Obviously, he's gone now because of that reason. I mean, Justin Herbert, I don't know. But
who's their coach now?
That,
I forgot. Who's their coach now?
It's Brendan Staley, former defensive coordinator for the Rams.
Okay.
Ooh.
We'll see if that changes over there.
Dude... The entire point is not that I don't think you should be confident, because there's a lot to be confident in. But if you're out here saying it's a sure thing already, that's just doesn't make sense. You're talking like all these players have already been on the field and produced together.
I'll say this. A lot of people in the chat agree with Pat. So a lot of Giants fans are feeling the optimism.
That's great. I'm really excited to see it pan out.
Reel it in a bit. Just a little bit.
I'm telling you, man, if this team plays up to their potential, I'm going up that they play up to their potential. That's what's in my mind. I'm not saying we can't be beat. You're taking it that far. I'm just saying we shouldn't get beat by any of these teams on our schedule besides the Rams, the Chiefs, the Buccaneers. Maybe one of those NFC East teams is going to get us. I say we go by 5-1 in the NFC.
If you want to say shouldn't, then I 100% agree with you. But if you're saying the Chargers can't beat us, the Saints can't beat us, that's just not true.
I'm saying that because I'm a confident Giants fan. That's just the way I talk, dude. No, you can't beat us. That's how we was on the football field when we was playing football.
If that's what you mean, then fine.
Yeah, then I can get it. You got nothing for us.
All right,
and name a team on that schedule that has anything for us besides those 3 main teams, and any one of them NFC East teams can beat us because we play each other every year. I don't fear the Saints like people used to fear the Saints because it's gone.
You shouldn't fear them at all.
Gone. That mystique is gone. The Panthers, I don't fear them at all. Neither do I fear the Broncos. Neither do I fear the Dolphins, because I believe we get the Tua Tagovailoa out of wits. Maybe the Chargers, if that coach can stop them from being the Falcons of the
You have to take into account it's a back-to-back east to west traveling.
That's cool too. But like I said, I believe our coach has us prepared, but that can play into effect if they get tired or travel. Like the first, I think if we lose to the NFC East team, it's going to be the second week when we go to Washington. I think that's week the game. Right?
Yeah, I have week 2 Thursday Night Football as a loss for us.
But then it turns out that Washington travels further than we do, because we play our first game at home And then we go to Washington. Washington's coming from the West Coast, ain't it? Ain't they playing the
Chargers? Yeah, I think
they're
so.
playing the Chargers, so they got to come all the way back from the West Coast. So we actually got less travel than
In a
they
short
do.
week, no less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't fault me for being confident, man. I said the highest we can go is probably about 13-4, but the
What's the
lowest I
lowest?
see the lowest is about 9-8. That's the very
And
lowest.
what's the most realistic you could see then between those
100%
two? Then?
agree.
The most realistic I can see in between is probably like 10-7 to be the most realistic.
That's exactly where I got us at. I got us at 10-7, 11-6.
That's
10-7 is if we go like we split with Washington, we split with Cowboys, and then 11-6 is which I think is really confident if we go 5-1 in the division and we only split with Washington. But I don't see that happening just because I can't remember the last time any NFC East team won 5-1 in the division.
We should have went 6-0 last year.
Hey, I was one of the people saying that. But that's the thing, right? We should have.
With
Things
that
always
roster.
happen.
You always have those
Always
should have
happen in
games, though.
NFC East rivalry games, bro.
I
That's
mean,
why
the
I'm like,
thing is,
it ain't
We
gonna
were
happen.
Evan Ingram drop and a Dallas Cowboys refs not cheating us out of 2.5 touchdowns.
But that's exactly my point. Something
We're going
always
6-0.
happens. Something always happens.
Yeah, and Kush does have a good point there, which is that the old saying goes, "It's a funny shaped ball." Not every game is plays out how it should, and we should beat, like you said, every team on the schedule except the 3. But odds are we won't, just because of those funky plays, the Evan Ingram drops, those ref calls. It is what it is. But yeah, I understand what you're saying now. If you want to talk about like that kind of confidence, 100% with you there.
Yeah, I'm 100% confident with Joe Judge. He
That makes
has
a lot of
pieces to work with now.
Yeah.
Only thing that should stop them is if Jason Garrett can call this offense correctly
God.
or injuries.
If
That's the only thing that should stop them.
If Jason Garrett finds a way to ruin this offense, I don't know what to say at that point. Honestly, that would just be impressive. That would be his Mona Lisa of terrible. That would be impressive at that point.
Shout out to Tudo.
Go ahead.
For the $5 super chat, he said, "How many Philadelphia Eagles fans does it take to screw in a light bulb?" None. They're quite happy living in the dark. They live in the dark with their team right now, and they really thought that Devontae Smith fixed everything for them.
And honestly, I got a little bit more confidence in our offensive line than a lot of people do. I think our offensive line is going to be fine.
I'm a lot higher on some of the pieces we have on the line than a lot of people are.
Like, seriously, the only weak point I would see that our offensive line will have is Shane Lemieux in the pass blocking.
Listen,
that's
Logan,
the only weak point I would see.
If Kelvin Benjamin makes the roster, he could fill in at right guard.
Logan in chat, don't say things like that, Logan. Don't say things like that. That's unacceptable.
What Logan
You can't
say?
be saying things like that.
Like what?
He says Jason Garrett's gonna have Tony running curls. Stop it. Don't speak that into existence.
Yeah, you know what? I learned stuff from speaking into existence because the other night on our weekly podcast that we do, we were talking about possible favorite matchups for like primetime and stuff. And I said to both of my friends, well, one's my brother on there, I'm like, you know what? Imagine if Cowboys Bucks ends up being the opening Thursday night game. And I'm like,
I mean, we're all sports fans. We're all superstitious. Don't you speak that into existence, Logan. That's unacceptable.
What did he say?
No.
He was talking about Tony running curl routes. That's what Jason Garrett's gonna have him doing.
Look, I don't mind Tony running the curl route. If we got Evan Ingram running down the seam, we got Kenny Galladay doing the deep.
Can you replace Evan Ingram with
cross.
Kyle Rudolph, please? And then I'll
Kyle
trust his
Rudolph?
hands more. Yeah, I trust his hands more.
Kelvin Benjamin.
No, I genuinely trust Kyle Rudolph's hands a
Caden
lot
Smith.
more. Than
I
Jason
don't
Garrett.
trust Kyle Rudolph being able to run down the seam because he doesn't have the speed to get past anybody.
You're right about
Kyle
the
Rudolph
speed,
is
but I
right.
prefer the completion, man.
I'd rather have Kyle Rudolph doing the curls.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
Kyle
doing
Rudolph
curls.
doing the curls and let Tony go down the seam then.
There you go.
I want to see Tony in motion, man. I got to see him in motion doing those
Big
quick
facts.
out routes.
Dude.
And if somebody wants to bite up, I can see us going over the top with Slayton or letting
How
Kenny
about-
Galladay get in the middle, use that big body. Like,
How about some Kadarius Toney slot sweep triple option though?
right? How about him coming out the backfield against a linebacker when we run a dime? And
Yeah.
man,
Diamond front.
it's crazy. It's
It's
crazy.
nasty.
Shout out to Kenny Sullivan or Kevin. I said Kenny because I'm thinking Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan for the $2 super chat. He said Tony in that 89 is tough though. Well, me, Nate, and Pat already talked about it. I think this was before Alex came in. What do you think about 89 and Tony?
I honestly don't get the huge rah rah
Uproar?
about it. It's a number. I mean, Mark Bavaro wore number 89, so what's the issue with Tony wearing number 89?
Well,
I
that is what
guess
they're
in
saying
that
the
case,
issue is.
let the players exercise the freedom they have now. I mean, obviously, I think he could have worn number 89 even before this rule change, but it's 89. Let him have it, I guess.
The one thing that I don't like is when fans say unretire a number, which I don't get. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, you guys probably weren't. We all weren't alive to see the person that wore number one, but like for you to say unretire number just kind of disqualifies and invalidates everything historic that person done. Because when you retire a number, it's not for any small reason. They have to have had a big impact on the team or on the game. So I really do find it kind of disrespectful when people talk about it like it's just nothing. Like, oh, just unretire that number. Like, no, like
That's
it has
big facts.
significance.
Yeah,
And it's like it's one of those things where the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league, but when it comes to retired numbers, at some point, and I know this sounds so strange, at some point there will be people who never even remember seeing Patrick Mahomes play. There will be people who are not even going to have been alive when Patrick Mahomes played. So if you want to talk about saying, "Oh, unretire the number," come on, don't do that. That's spitting on history, man.
I feel like Quentin Nelson's going to be that player of the future. People are like, oh, what did he do that was so special?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's very
Do
possible.
your research.
and then you research on he was killing everybody.
He's a good
Like,
candidate.
oh, okay. But yeah, I actually like him at 89.
Same.
It looks good.
According to Jay, the Giants fan said he just chose it for camp, so it's going to change. But it makes it easier for him to hide because if he had number one, everybody know who number one would be. But say
No,
if he's
like, I
89,
actually
he got an
like how it
87 or
looks,
something
man.
out there.
Like I can't be
Somebody
the
might
only
slip
person-
up and
oh, yeah, go ahead.
not know who he is.
I'm like, I can't be the only person that actually likes that it looks good on him. And like
Yeah,
Nate was saying
yeah.
earlier, I prefer 2-digit numbers on receivers, just a preference thing. And then on what Jay is saying, for those of you that don't know, it was a comment on the Giants Instagram post that posted the rookie numbers, and somebody said that y'all, I think the comment was like, y'all are stupid if you think the numbers aren't going to change or something like that. A comment along those lines, and then Kadarius Toney commented under that saying somebody's smart, basically suggesting that he could or he will change it before the season starts.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's just when you talk about numbers, it's the most superficial of all of the dumb conversations we have on here. But with the number, I like that it looks good on him. The only thing that really matters to me is just, does it look good? Cool, roll with it. And in terms of single digit numbers, personally, my own subjective opinion, I just think the only players that should be wearing single digit numbers are punters and kickers. I don't like how it looks on skill position players. Some quarterbacks rock it well, like 7 on a quarterback can look good.
8 on a quarterback
1 on a
is
quarterback can look good at times.
8 on a quarterback is hard.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But in terms of single digit numbers on receivers, that's not my bag. If Tony wants to rock it, he'll rock it, and I won't have any problem with it. It's not important at all.
Mm-hmm. Who are you guys most excited? Oh, go ahead, Pat. You had one last thing.
I was just going to say numbers don't matter, man.
Yeah.
Not like
Sabrina has
player.
Sabrina has a question on it. I think I've already given my opinion on this quite a bit. So you guys could go ahead and take it. What about what Tom Brady said about being unable to read the field with numbers now opened up? What do you guys think about that?
First off, far be it from me to disagree with Tom Brady about these kinds of things, because as much as we can all trash talk on NFL players, and specifically Tom Brady, when they talk ball, they know ball. And if Tom Brady is saying, oh, it's going to mess with the technical side of the game, maybe he's right. But just from what I can tell from the outside and from my limited experience with the game, with how much these NFL players prepare and study and know formations, and they're already identifying players by number, it doesn't seem like it's going to really be a problem. And he said something like, imagine all the missed blocks or whatever. But usually, just in terms of blocking schemes, you're not. It's all happening so quickly. You're not looking for a number before you hit the guy. You know where the player from the position is going, and you execute your assignment. I guess for secondary reasons, identifying alignments, that makes sense. But that goes back to all the studying those guys do. They know what number everybody is on the field. So I don't really think it's going to be a problem. Again, the only reason I'm not super 100% confident saying that, I'm 95 instead of 100 on this one, is because Tom Brady is saying it, and Tom Brady has one of the best football brains to ever play the sport. So if he says it, there must be something to it, I guess, unless he's trolling us.
I think it's just gonna make it look more like college. That's what I think it is.
I think, in my opinion, it's entirely aesthetic.
Yeah, I agree with Nate's point on that. Obviously, it's coming from Tom Brady, so something has to be true about it. We'll see what happens. Obviously, Pat said it will be like more like college. I definitely agree with that. What the hell was the one point I was trying to get to? If I'm not mistaken, and my friend said this to me one time, and I don't know if it's true, I think the only reason we have that rule is because of the Patriots, because they ran out of numbers or something for their own line. Something happened a while ago where the Patriots had like a number issue, and that's why the numbers rule was there, and then they ended up overturning it. But nonetheless, I definitely think it will change the way different teams game plan. But once again, it's going to happen so fast that you might not pay attention to who's the number.
Shout out to Danny Thomas for a $10 super chat. He says, "What's up, Hub? I thought I saw you on an anime stream yesterday.
Yeah.
It was Nerd Cage live stream. We talked movies, comics, a little bit of anime. We didn't get to talk video games, so I'm gonna be reappearing on their stream on the 3rd of June, and probably again after that. It was really fun. For those of you that don't want to talk football, want to talk just movies and stuff like that, you guys should definitely check it out." He says, "I ideally say we go 11-6 or 12-5. Worst is 6-11. Bro, if we go 6-11, I can't see us going 6-11. I think that's a little bit too low."
That's one of those things where if you say like, "Oh, if this happens, someone needs to get fired." If we go 6-11, someone doesn't even need to get fired because that means Daniel Jones tore his ACL or something like that. That's the major serious injuries are the only way this team is going 6-11. It's just too talented, and we have Joe Judge at the wheel.
And then Danny says he wants to buy tickets to the Miami or Chargers game, both away games, both on the opposite sides of the country. Very interesting. Right. I'd suggest probably Miami. No, actually, no. I'd say Chargers just because they have SoFi Stadium, and that's gonna be.
Man,
Nerd Cage Live in the chat says thanks for the shout out.
Yeah, he is.
How about
Hey,
it, bro?
I gotta come on his channel too, man. I like Dragon Ball Super manga, man. It be taking forever to bring out the new ones, man, on YouTube, man. I gotta find that book.
By the way, Marjorie Simmons asks, "Hey, what do you think about the Chiefs' drawing of DJ's shoelaces tied together?"
Oh yeah, I saw
And
that.
I think some people are overreacting to this just a little bit. Some people are taking this the wrong
I was
way.
just laughed at it and moved on, bro.
Like
that's
it's
funny.
not meant to be some deep like jab. Like, we're the Chiefs, we hate you. This isn't a Philadelphia Giants thing. This is just like, it was a joke they made about their scheduled opponents. They had all the quarterbacks in there and they were making fun of them or whatever. Like, they had Ezekiel Elliott, I think, with a plate of Texas barbecue and it said second best barbecue on it or whatever. Like, it was just lighthearted fun. I don't think they were really trying to jam it into the Giants fans or whatever, but I mean, to each their own. I thought it was kind of funny.
It was.
At some point, you got to be
thought
able
it was
to laugh at
hilarious.
these things. So
No, I'll say this. I agree with Marjorie. She didn't comments. I laughed too, but DJ got something to prove. You watch. I completely agree. If DJ's the man, then everything that's happening since essentially he was drafted, this man's going to come out on the field and punish everybody for it, which can't wait to see if that's what happens.
Am I the only person that felt something was gonna happen when he broke that run against the Eagles?
yeah,
that he wasn't gonna
you
make
could tell. You could tell.
Like I was like, he's not gonna make it.
It was just the way he was running. It was like he was
just
going
hope
in
he
slow
doesn't
motion.
fumble right here. I was just hoping he didn't fumble when he fell on the ground.
At some point, it felt like it just slowed down, you know?
It
And
did.
like it felt like that thing in movies where the guy's running, he's falling, and he goes, "Oh no!"
And then when they showed the close up on his face, it was like he was in pain when he got to the
Yeah.
foot. And I was like, oh yeah.
You could
It
just
kicked
tell
in
as
right
the play
there.
was happening, dude.
I was like,
It's like,
what
oh,
was gonna happen,
no.
man? It cannot
No,
be this easy.
no, no.
I was like, it cannot be this easy of a touchdown. He's gonna do something. He's gonna fall or something. It gotta
Shout
be.
out to Danny Thomas for another $2 super chat. He said I live in Northern Cali, so he has to fly to a game either way. I don't know. I suggest the Chargers, man, just because.
Did we hear an echo
of
right
the
now?
stadium. Yeah, it's coming from somebody. I don't know who.
Is
It's
it
gone
me?
now. Now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, no, okay.
But yeah, people are not bringing up DJ Speed. We were all talking about Tony, bro. With all these weapons, the RPO is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, as long as one thing, gotta make sure this is emphasized. No more Jones in between the tackles. Unless it's a kick-out block. But if no more runs up the gut. No more.
Weren't both of the Eagles runs
doing
up the gut or something?
What?
Weren't both of the Eagles runs up the gut?
No, it's to the outside.
Oh, it was to the outside. Okay,
But his injury came on the run up the gut. We are not doing that. No more. No more Daniel Jones going right up the linebackers' stomachs. No.
Unless he's escaping.
Right.
That's no more designed runs up the middle for Jones. That's what I'm saying. We're not running QB power.
What was your favorite game on the schedule that you're looking forward to the most? For me, it's either Washington Week 18, which, by the way, chat, I'm pretty sure that's the game that I'm going to be attending this year, just because I feel like there's going to be playoff implications and NFC East champion implications on Week 18 against Washington, so I'll be attending that one. And that in Tampa Bay. Like, those are my two games that I'm really looking forward to.
So the thing I would say is the easy answer is obviously Philly, because we all want to play Philly. We all want to see them just get absolutely stomped. We all want to see like the last 10 seconds of the game taking away and Daniel Jones fake a knee and shuck it deep to Kenny Golladay. We all want to see that. But at the same time, dark horse answer, I can't wait for the Chiefs game. And I say that for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
For one reason, I want to see how we stack up against the best of the best.
Exactly.
I want to see it. I really want to just know what this team's got, what they're
Nate,
made
just
of.
say what you mean, bro. You want to see the Super Bowl preview.
That's facts. But in all seriousness, I want to see if we really got this NYPD. Because if the NYPD is back, that's the game we're going to show
we
it
need a new
on.
nickname, though. This current secondary said they don't like it.
Well, we'll figure out the nickname. Whatever the previously known as NYPD now is known as, if they're really that good and they're really what we hope they are, that's going to be the game they show it. And also, I love watching a team like the Chiefs against a team like us because it's such opposing play styles. Like, we're a grinded out, shove it down your throat team with that blue collar mentality that Joe Judge loves to talk about. And the Chiefs are a high flying, big play offense and a high flying, big play defense, capitalize on turnovers. And I just really want to see that matchup.
That's definitely going to tell us where we are on the totem pole. I'll tell you that now. And if our defense has any success early in that game and our offense shows up, we got a hell of a chance.
It could happen. And by the way, Bobby Murphy is saying you Giants fans are delusional. I never said I thought we were going to win. I just said I wanted to see the game. We have a chance. It's not like it would have been 2 years ago.
No, how happy I am just to be able to say that.
Yeah,
just to be able to say it. Got a
it's
chance.
big progress. It's big progress. But
you
I'm not saying that because I'm like, oh, we're going to shock the world. That's the week we're going to announce our presence. I just want to see how we stack up.
It would be cool if it is.
It would be cool.
The NFL literally gave us our 2 Monday Night Football games against the two best teams in the conferences right now.
That's what I can't wait for this year. Our 2 Monday Night Football games.
I'm going to say
this right here, man. Baby. I want that Buccaneers game for Daniel Jones to pull his magic and get them a game-winning touchdown in that game.
I want us.
They could do that against the Buccaneers, and we're in that level. That's what 10 games we done played because we got a bye week 10, and then we come. If we're around 7-3, 6-4 around right there, hopefully we can be 8-2.
It would be 6-3, 7-2.
Yeah, 6-3, 7-2, and beat them boys. Man,
I just want to smoke the Bucs so much. There's so many reasons why we should want that win so much. All these storylines. Last year, we want Jones to avenge that game that we should have won that game anyway. If we had made the playoffs without the Philadelphia shitgulls tanking, we would have faced them and we would have had something to prove. We would have had a chance at the champs. There's just so many reasons to want that game. It's prime time Monday Night Football. This is like Tom Brady trying to have one last victory lap. I want to see us absolutely smoke the Bucs. Not super confident that'll happen, but I think we'll definitely be right there in that game. And I'd love to see us win.
You know, another thing that caused us to playoffs, a lot of people ain't talking about. Well, not caused us to playoffs because we should have been better. But you know, another thing that got the Redskins in there, that damn Pittsburgh game where Pittsburgh didn't show up against them.
Yes.
If Pittsburgh would have beat them like they were supposed to, we would have
It
been.
happened the same week as the Seahawks game too. Both of those weeks were the big upsets. I mean, that week was both of them.
I was like, man, what the hell? We can't. I knew when they won that game, I was like, it's gonna be some trouble, man. Because I was like, something's gonna happen. Dan Jones gonna get hurt. He did get hurt, as a matter of fact, and we had to play the Browns, the Ravens, and the Cardinals after that too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And shoot, we lost all three of them.
But yeah, Alex, what are the 2 games you're looking forward to before I get to the chat?
So to remark a little bit before I go into my favorite and most looking forward games this year, going back on the point of Pittsburgh against Washington, and I remember, I guess in that game they kind of exposed Ben Roethlisberger for who he is, and then later in the season against the Bengals, obviously my best friend's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I'd like to rub that in his face. And I also said, hey, we're not in control of our own destiny now, or actually no. Actually, I said that a week later because we obviously lost to the Cardinals, and I'm like, we're not in control of our destiny now. You let Washington beat you. I don't know how, but I think that we're going to be – well, actually, no, let me start with that. I'm looking forward to see how we do against the Chiefs. I potentially, and you guys can obviously think what you want against in terms of this game. I think we can be competitive. I've been criticized for that opinion because everyone thinks that the Giants are going to get absolutely smacked. I think it's going to be, in my opinion, a 13 to 10 point game. That's a game I'm looking forward to. Obviously, the Eagles at home. I'm probably going to look forward to going to that game, or at least I want to. I mean, I'll see the prices and everything else.
The ticket prices are not looking good.
Well, that would be a game I would purposely.
Don't tell me they rose, because I was checking them out the other night. Ain't no way. Let me go.
It went up. I thought they were only like $100.
And are they? Maybe I was looking at the wrong game. I might have been.
Well, also it varies between ticket pricing sites because I know
true.
Vivid Seats, StubHub, and all that stuff.
I was looking at $400 a ticket.
I think the Dolphins game.
Well, also, yeah, what seats were you looking at? That's a good point.
Like the section behind the end zone. Might have been looking at the wrong game. Not sure.
Okay. But yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Forgot what I was going to say now. In terms of seats, I'll answer that on my own merits. The seats I usually get are by the goalpost a little to the left, like where the players come out. That's the ones I usually get, but they're in the preseason, so they're cheaper. So I'm probably going to be spending a little more, and I don't mind that. If I know people were talking about some content creator. I know the entertainer was talking about some content creator meetup or something like that. But that's obviously we'll discuss. But I'm definitely looking forward to the Dolphins game. I think that's going to be a close game. I think that the Eagles game, obviously, once again, and how we play against the 2 Super Bowl teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be the games you should be most excited about if you're excited about this Giants team, because it's going to tell you where you are on the chopping board, man.
Mm-hmm.
If we compete with them guys, that means we got a pretty decent team. And we were competing with major players last year with the team we had. So that's why I'm as confident as I am, because I know this guy, Joe Judge, is going to have them ready to prepared to play every week. And if they play like they did last year with the squad that they have this year, those games that we were losing 17-9 is going to be flipped.
Yeah, I mean,
and the way our roster is built, I just don't see too many teams just going crazy against us with the offense.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
solid.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to be confident with this team. So many, and only a couple that people love to pick at because that's just. I mean, when you root for a New York team, you can expect that. People will do anything to make your team look bad to try and convince you that they suck. But when you look at all the reasons we have to be confident, and all the reasons that we should win like 7 more games than we did last year, it's not just the fact that we upgraded the hell out of the roster and we're getting a little more continuity under this coaching staff. It's the fact that we're doing that, and we were losing games by 1 score last year before all that stuff. So we're taking that slim margin where we were just not quite there. We just weren't quite over the hump last year, and we're pushing over that hump, not just through sheer force of will and through continuity with this coaching staff. We're doing it with a completely revamped roster. We're doing it with about twice as much talent on this team. So big results should be expected.
And if I may say this, somebody said it, and I'm going to go ahead and agree with that person who said it. If you look at some of the teams we faced in the beginning of the season, If we faced them in the second half of the 2020 season, we would have beat them. Pittsburgh, Chicago are two teams, my personal opinion. So that obviously it factors in the continuity with its coaching staff. Obviously, once again, no preseason last year, so that's probably why we lost, or it factored into why we lost. But if they were in the second half of the schedule, we would have beat them.
And real quick, let me get the super chat here from Tudo. $10. Thank you, man. He said, according to my father's online research and studying, every single opposing team on our schedule, they have the Giants as an underdog. Ain't no way every single one.
No,
I guess they haven't heard the name Joe Judge. But that kind of leads into what I wanted to ask you guys. We're listed as an underdog against the opener with Denver, and I just don't understand that at all. How are we the underdog against Denver? I think we're just a better team than Denver.
Giants hate. That's what it is.
Well, let them do it, because every time they do it, we do pretty well. But this season, what I really want, man, the most thing I really want is progression from the offensive line and Daniel Jones.
Big facts.
If we could go 9-8 or 10-7 to make the playoffs and get in a wild card game and get beat the first wild card game, I believe that's a success for us this year. Even though our expectations should be a little bit higher because of the roster, but if they do that, that's waves above what we have been doing. And guess what? We got 10 picks next year.
Yeah.
We got 10 picks next year.
It's nice.
2 first rounds, 2
first rounders, right? 2 third rounders, 2 fourth rounders.
By the way, what you're saying is on the money, and I don't want to interrupt you, but Bobby Murphy keeps saying that Hurts ranks higher than Jones. In what?
I don't know.
Ranks in what? Bobby, what are you saying right now, dude?
Like,
Bobby, doesn't Hurts have more of a fumble problem than Jones does?
Yeah, I think he has almost as many fumbles as Daniel Jones in 4 starts.
Yeah, per game. Yeah.
He probably ate more Philly cheesesteaks. That's why he's ranked higher.
That's what he ranks higher in.
And then the guy's getting bigger. Like, I believe he's just gonna be a running quarterback, to be honest with you. Like, seriously, man. Like, I don't know, man. He's gonna have to prove something to me. And even if he does turn out to be half decent, you still going 6-11 at best.
That Eagles roster is just depleted, like it is.
The Eagles roster sucks ass. Don't sugarcoat it.
And then if you're going to build around Jalen Hurts, don't get too many receivers, because he's not going to be able to hit him like that.
Yeah,
he's not that type of quarterback. He's a quarterback that makes plays with his legs, and he makes plays to get the chains moving.
Here right now. With the back.
Nah,
stretch.
Jay asked me to stand up.
Oh, okay. I'm stretching my back out.
Hey, I ain't gonna
doing
lie.
the same gesture here right now.
That gave me a nice stretch. But what about the Cowboys, guys? Why is it that every single year the Cowboys are supposed to win the NFC East?
Because they're the Cowboys.
Dallas.
Because I'll make a strange stab at this. Because they should. There is no good excuse for why the Cowboys haven't consistently won this division for the last few years. Outside of the 1 year where the Eagles were really good, we and the football team, whatever, have been really bad for quite a few years now. There's just no excuse for Dallas to have been inconsistent as they have been, and we all know why. It's coaching. They have terrible, terrible coaching. And right now, it just doesn't feel like they have that winning culture to them. And obviously, we're 6-10. We can't exactly talk about winning culture yet, but we know it's there. With the Cowboys, what reason do you possibly have to be confident in Mike McCarthy? What reason do you have to be confident in Dan Quinn?
Let's not forget, the guy that they replaced, Mike Nolan, for defense, Dan Quinn was coaching a worse defense in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which is something incredible to say, considering how bad the Cowboys defense was.
Oh, they got Dan Quinn. He's a defensive
I know.
coach.
It's terrible.
This is the same coach of the defense that gives up 20-point leads every time they get a 20-point lead. Like, I've never seen it. The Falcons are better when they're getting beat. Like, when they go up by 28 points, it's like, we finna lose.
The Falcons are master choke artists. It's not even a joke anymore. Like, it's happened too many times for it to be a joke. It's just what it is.
And to bring this full circle, with all of that, and with the idea that they have had all the talent in the world for years and years and still haven't done jack shit, I don't know why people are still confident in them and why they still have this feeling that this is going to be the year. This is the one. This is the one that's going to break through. I don't know.
I'm telling you, man, it's because they're the Cowboys. It's Jerry Jones. He's a very very smart businessman. He keeps their name in the media all the time. I don't care how bad the team is, unless they're absolutely like the Eagles. They're going to be in a conversation talks about playoffs and Super Bowl, even though we know what they are. It's a mixture of coaching. It's a mixture of players who are talented, but I just don't think they're championship material.
Whoever thought, just like general thought that comes out of my head right now, whoever thought that Jason Garrett to Mike McCarthy would be a downgrade?
Like, seriously, bro.
Remember Cowboys fans were saying that Jason Garrett was the reason they were going 8-8 every year, and now they're struggling to get an 8-8.
Yeah.
Like, people act like, oh, that's because Dak got hurt. You do know y'all should have been 0-4. The only victory you got was against that defensive coordinator that you just hired.
It's horrific.
Oh, Dak getting all these yards. You do know he's throwing for 200 yards in the fourth quarter because somebody's running a prevent from third quarter because they whooping y'all ass. It's like, dude, he's throwing 200 yards in the fourth quarter because nobody's playing defense. They're ready to go home.
How much do you think their defense improved, if any?
They defense improved as
in
far
talent.
as
It improved. It definitely improved talent-wise. But how much did it actually improve in what the results will be?
they did not improve in the defensive line. They actually got rid of their best pass rusher in Alden Smith. He actually was pretty doggone good last year. You drafted some defensive tackles nobody knows about. You drafted
They got
Michael
Michael
Parsons. You drafted Michael Parsons, but you gotta know what you're doing with him. You
Yeah.
gotta know what you're doing with him.
And Micah Parsons will not be an immediate impact player. That's a guy that needs to learn how to play his position. So
The position they want him to play, he's gonna have to learn it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The position they want him to play, because here he would have had one job to do. That's it. But
Wait,
there, he's
what
going
do
to
they
have to
want him to
actually
play?
run that defense. Van Der Esch is going to be gone after his rookie contract. They paid Jalen Smith too much. He's just a speed guy out there. He just makes plays. They run their stuff off pure athleticism. There's like really no continuity to their defense.
And let's
The
not forget.
safeties are whack. The DBs are whack.
And let's not forget, Dan Quinn has been wasting defensive talent for years with the fact that he just does not know how to manage defensive personnel. He consistently, and it's mind-boggling the way he does this, whenever a player has a strength or a weakness, he consistently uses the wrong one. It is impressive the way he makes man corners play zone and zone corners play man. It is absolutely remarkable. And now he's coming in to a defense with no continuity, a defense with no consistency whatsoever, and no reason to be confident. And we're expecting this man to be the Lord and Savior? I don't know about that.
They're trying to go off his Seattle roots. It's kind of hard to mess that up over there, man.
Yeah,
you got Bruce Irvin, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, Maxwell.
The Legion of Boom was something
like
special,
you can
man.
keep going on and on. Michael Bennett, like, come on, man. It's kind of hard to mess that up, man. That roster was amazing with that defense. But after that, what has he done? Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
Sorry, Alex. Go ahead.
It's all right. And the thing is that, going back to, 2019, now 2020, they lost Byron Jones. They lost their number one corner in Chidobe Awuzie. They drafted somebody. I'm going to be honest with you. This is not, biased. I never heard of Nasen Wright, if that's who they drafted with one of their like third, fourth, fifth round picks. I never heard of him. I feel like there were a couple of corners they could have taken there, but they have Jordan Lewis right now as their number one corner. You have to take advantage of that. There's no way in that perspective that they improved at cornerback. Linebacker, we'll see. Defensive line, they definitely did not improve. Safeties, I think they drafted one or two.
And they signed what's his face? No, they signed KZ too, who is a decent safety. Decent
at best.
They got Keanu Neal,
who they're playing at linebacker apparently.
2 out of the last 3 years, he's got ACL injuries.
And not even that. What I just said about Dan Quinn, consistently misusing player, we're putting Keanu Neal at Mike linebacker? What?
So that means you're ready to either bench Van Der Esch or Smith this year.
I mean,
probably
whatever.
Why
He just got the egos ready. He's got the egos. He came
Why
prepared.
would you draft that boy from LSU? You already took Michael Parsons. You already got Van Der Esch. You already got Smith.
Because they're America's team.
You already got Neal get ready to play linebacker. Why would you take the boy from LSU? Why wouldn't you get a DB or a trade back or something.
Is this stream just to show off the Galladay jersey and make me jealous? Is that what this is for?
Maybe.
Trying to
Who
flex?
knows?
I
Maybe
ordered
it's
a
a flex
jersey.
stream?
I ordered a jersey about 3 weeks ago. I ain't gonna see that jersey till December.
Oh,
If you ordered it on the same thing with me, like there was like a deal or quote unquote deal the NFL had going, but it's like it's gonna take long because the numbers haven't been decided yet. It's like whoever ordered those ones are gonna get them before like regular jersey orders for Galladay.
I got a Saquon, I got a Color Rush Slayton, I have an Eli, and I have a Cruz. That's what I got right now.
Obviously I'm gonna have to get a Jones if he pans out. But I got a Eli, and the Eli one, funnily enough, is the best quality. Because does the NFL do stitch jerseys anymore, where they stitch on the numbers and the names?
I think they still do, but it's ridiculously expensive.
Because like that's what the Eli one is. It's stitched on, so it's like by far the best quality. I got a red shot.
You get a stitched on one. It's probably about 500.
Jesus.
I don't think it's that much, but I think it's like 300, which is still insane.
So I wonder how much that was, because that was a hand-me-down, and I'm glad it got handed down to me, the Eli one. I got the red Shockey, Color Rush Saquon, the home Blake Martinez one, which was a gift from Lucas. Shout out to Lucas, one of the subscribers. And then this one, the away Galladay one, which was a gift from my friend.
I'm thinking about getting a Mark Bavaro. I almost bought it today.
Ooh, that's a good
That would be
purchase.
hard,
I like
bro.
that. I like that.
I think I might get it, man. I almost clicked that button today.
The one thing, my prize.
You should have had like a fly land in your finger and then it just went click, bro.
My prize of Giants jerseys is I gotta get myself a throwback LT. That's what I need.
That's gonna be super hard to get, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's so
official
expensive.
LT, yeah, but you could go get one off NFL Shop, I think, for like $149.
No,
But official LT, like an official one,
No, I'm not like
bro.
Mitchell and Ness, bro.
yeah, that's probably gonna cost you about
That's why it's like driving past the car dealership and seeing the Corvette, and you're like, someday I will.
Ooh,
But I don't know if
Burris.
it's that
Connor
button
Stevens in
again.
the chat says he wants a Burris. I wouldn't mind getting that.
I wouldn't mind a burst,
I've got a few guys I'd have ahead of him, but yeah, wouldn't mind.
but I'm really thinking about doing that Mark Bavaro, man. You might see me in that one.
Any specific reason, Bavaro, like just all of a sudden you were like,
He's
I
a
want
monster. That's why.
When I seen it, I just thought about, yeah, this guy was pretty good. Like, he was
that one. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, this dude was nasty when he played. Nobody really reps Mark Bavaro. You rarely ever hear his name, but he should be mentioned
Tough.
And
a
I will
whole
say-
lot because tight end wise, that dude was legit, man.
And I gotta say,
Winslow.
as much as I love Eli Manning and I treasure that jersey, I wear my Cruz on most game days. Victor Cruz is I grew up in that era. I grew up watching him salsa on TV. I'm a Victor Cruz kid, man.
Well, if you like Victor Cruz, you should like Tony because that's basically what Tony is.
I was saying that earlier.
He's just a little
He's got those
stronger.
vibes.
That's basically
Yo.
what he can bring.
Bro, I guarantee you, if Kyle Rudolph didn't take 80, Tony was probably gonna take 80. That would have been. I think that would have been really nice.
Who said I was a
Man.
vegan? Do I look like the size of a
What?
vegan?
Somebody said that.
Who the
I'm
hell?
big. I'm the fattest vegan I've ever seen.
I ain't seen no.
Man,
vegan
who would
comment.
peg you as a vegan? Oh, hell no.
I
Hell
won't be
no.
able to survive, man. I'll pass out.
Dude, I couldn't. I have an English teacher who's one of those kind of teachers who's like really into the environmental conservation and stuff. And he gets on me and another kid. Like, he's been on this all year because of one conversation we had about environmentalism. And I said I wouldn't be able to give up meat. And he's been on me and another kid who agreed
you
all
need
year.
to one day walk into class with a bacon, egg, and cheese, bro. You need to do it. For the
No, I've
culture.
walked into class with a breakfast sandwich before.
Okay, bet.
Yeah.
I heard
Sometimes I eat
vegan food
breakfast
supposed
as
to taste like the real stuff, though. I've had a couple of it. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, no. Real quick, shout out to Engraven in here, guys. Go check out Engraven vids if you have not.
Yo, Graven's in
Bro,
chat.
the only vegan/vegetarian thing I've had that tasted good or semi like the real thing was like the Impossible Whopper. Other than that,
never.
I haven't
Never.
tasted anything that
I
was like good.
I wouldn't let that touch my lips. No.
I don't blame you.
I mean, like, in fairness, I'm not even a big fan of regular Burger King, but no, never gonna do that. Like, I'm one of those people. I I would be, if I was into making memes and stuff, I'd be one of those people that took the screenshots of the happy vegans with like their fake ribs or whatever and said, if you gave me this, I would slap it out of your hands. I'm one of those people.
Bro, I've seen crazy things like chicken nuggets, but it's like made out of like mashed broccoli or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
made out of like cauliflower or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
No. Can't be.
No, but yeah, I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up right now, guys. We went for a good 1.5 hours. It is 10 o'clock. Surprisingly, we didn't talk that much rookie camp, but then again, it's not exactly like there was much to talk about. I mean, what were the big stories today? Tony practiced in one cleat because of the equipment issue. Like that's literally
Benjamin.
Kelvin Benjamin. And to be fair, Kelvin Benjamin actually looks like he's in semi good shape. I'm not saying that means anything, but it's not like
like
he's
tight end part two.
I mean, I don't know. Is there any last thoughts specifically on like the rookie camp that maybe may have slipped our minds? Anybody got anything?
I feel like
let's get Ojulari signed.
That's nice.
Oh, we got Ojulari signed?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, that's nice. That's one down. Was it just Ojulari?
No, we got a bunch of them.
Him.
No, I said we need to get Ojulari signed. I don't know. Him and Ellison Smith are still not signed.
Really? I'm pretty sure we did ink Ojulari. I thought
we did.
Mazel tov.
And speaking of Ellison Smith, Benny was campaigning in the chat saying Ellison Smith took 58. He stole Casey Crater's number. We need to wear awareness about this and get Casey Crater back his number. I think Casey Crater's fine without.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's Ellison Smith's number now.
It's probably Ellison Smith's number now. Yeah.
Listen, like there's anyone who's played football and knows there's a hierarchy there. The long snapper is not coming out to the outside linebacker pass rusher who's like the big hyped up physical talent saying, bro, that's my number, man. That's not gonna happen. So Ellison Smith, it's his number. And by the way, speaking of Smith, the more I think about it, the more excited I am to see this kid. I'm excited by him.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see why people are excited for the future, but like speaking immediately, I'm just kind of calm with it.
I think he could surprise some people. I don't think he's gonna like hit his ceiling immediately, but I think he could surprise some people right away.
We'll see, man. I believe Patrick Brown could work him in there if he wanted him to.
Yeah.
If he could work in Carter Coughlin, he could definitely work in.
That's for sure. Yeah.
If he could work in Cam Brown, he could definitely work in Ellison Smith if he wanted to. So.
We were talking retired numbers earlier, real quick. Why isn't 58? Do you guys think 58 should be retired? You know, Carl Banks.
100% yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it's not. I'll be honest.
It should be.
It should be.
Especially because he still works with the Giants. You know what I'm saying? Like basically every day.
I do have a question. I don't think anybody knows the answer to this yet. What is the game? And as I said, I don't know if you guys know the answer. What is the game that Eli is going to be getting the Ring of Honor? Does anybody know? Because I know they saved that for this year because fans are coming back.
Oh yeah, him and Strahan, right?
Be
against both of their numbers, right?
Yeah, too.
It's probably going to be against. It's either going to be an Eagles game or a Washington game.
Yo, please let it be Week 18. That will make my experience so much better, man. It would be amazing.
It's going to be sometime during the middle of the season. I say if they want to get them hype, you do it the Buccaneers game. Are you at home the Buccaneers game?
No, it's away.
We're in Tampa. So
the only game you would have
been a good one.
That's at home would be Eagles at home Week 12. I think.
I wish the Bucs game. Now that you say that was a home game for us,
because
so that we
Eli getting his ring of honor when Tom Brady's on the field.
I was just gonna say that. I want to watch Tom Brady watch Eli Manning's jersey get retired. I just like, as much as I love Eli Manning, they can like do a split screen. On one half of the screen, it's what you'd expect. It's Eli Manning like standing on the stage, shaking the hand and stuff. The other half is just Tom Brady in real time, and I want to see the emotions on his face.
I'll be honest with you, man. I hate Tom Brady, but like since he went to the Bucs, I really like the man. It makes no sense. Like since he went to the Bucs, you see him kind of let loose. You see him throwing trophies, having fun, interacting with fans. And then recently, he's been a lot more verbal. Like since he went to the Bucs about how much he hates those 2 Super Bowls he lost to us.
I think we're losing Rick here. I think Rick is going off the deep end a little bit. He's talking about Pat playing the harp.
What are we, a marching band?
I'm not sure what's going on here. I think we've been going too long for Rick.
I think that guy literally has respect but hate for this organization as well because we're the only thing he hasn't conquered.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Everything else he's wanted to do in his career. beat out all those quarterbacks that are drafted before him. He's won 7 Super Bowls.
It's like the Lion King.
We're the only thing he has Eli Manning is the only thing that man of all his accomplishments. Eli Manning is the only thing he couldn't conquer. Manning.
It's like the Lion King. Every quarterback the light touches is our inferior. What's that shadowy thing over there? Yeah. That's Eli Manning. He owns us. Like that's what this is with Tom Brady.
Yo, remember when Tom said it was also the other day? He's like, as a Giants fan, how could you hate me, bro? I retweeted saying I could never hate Eli's son.
That's fair. That's like he makes a fair point there.
But yeah, we're definitely gonna end it out now, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. The chat was amazing. We hit 100 viewers live tonight. Thank you guys so much. Blockbuster, the channel was Nerd Cage Live. Go over there, check them out. Definitely check out these fine, wonderful content creators. All their links are in the description below. That's it for now, guys. We're out.